What is up, Manny Herron? We are back at our newest Airbnb. I am so excited to show you the progress. Man, let's just go. I can't contain myself.
Hey everyone, welcome to our coziest Airbnb yet. I'm Del-Metrius Herron. I'm a local realtor and the designer of this Airbnb. This is Manny Herron. He handled all the construction. You will notice we're missing part of our trio. Our design assistant slash construction assistant had a miss today. You know, he has a busy schedule, but we're excited to take you through the property today. Let's talk about the kitchen. So you'll notice a few different things. The cabinets are missing because this is such an intimate space. We wanted to really maximize what we had to work with. There's two amazing windows already here that let in light. So we got rid of the original cabinets and went with an intentionally narrow open shelving so that we can still utilize as much counter space as possible. One of the things we did was also stain this darker. We don't want to get rid of anything that was already working. So you'll notice the floors are dark. I did like them, but it now looks more intentional because we stained the wood countertops a dark wood to bring everything together. You don't want to get rid of something that's already working. We painted this green. You'll see the gold accents are carried throughout the home. The biggest change though is the table. Originally I wanted to do a bench and do a chair, but it just was too much for the space. We actually took everything back and went for a smaller sitting area because really when you're on vacation, are you really eating in the dining room? So this is just enough for two to have coffee or breakfast. We were creative in our storage, putting dishes and pots and pans over here for easy access to the refrigerator and the stove. And of course, the spice cabinet up top makes everything functional and friendly for people to prepare meals while they're on the go.
Heating and cooling. It was pretty old system when we got it, so everything's up to code. We ran the proper drainage and everything. So yeah, man, this is one of the most important things when it comes to your property. You want to make sure that you have the correct mechanicals. It can look pretty, but if somebody in the middle of the summer or in the middle of the winter, people want those elements to you know, make sure that their home is nice and comfy. We are standing in my favorite portion of the house, the bathroom, for multiple reasons, but for this one, we're talking about how beautiful it is. Before I jump into the shower, because that is something very special to us, I want to just talk about a few of the challenges that we faced when we were doing this. So the subfloor, this is what we're standing on now, actually has a ceramic towel on top of it. We had it was rotted, so when we pulled the toilet out of it, we seen how rotted it was, so we ripped that out. There was poor ventilation in here, so we had to make sure that we got the correct ventilation in here, and then the walls were so out of plumb, we had to gut it, take it back down to the studs and shore up the walls, just so when we got to the shower, the main focus of this piece, it was ready for us to make this masterpiece happen. So a couple of things about the showers that was very challenging for us. Obviously, when you're talking about an older home, you're trying to put something new on something old. And if you ever heard the saying of putting new wine in old wine skins, and just how generally that doesn't mix. But how do we do that? How do we get over that? Well, we had to make sure that we shored up the wall. So we put the backer board on there, but making sure that it was plumbed before we actually started putting the Schluter system on there, which is water vapor or water barrier to it, and then building that up with ReaGuard. We just put a little bit, we go overkill with some of the things that we do with our products. The Schluter system is by far one of the greatest waterproofing systems membranes that you can have, but we just go a little bit more just because we're building for expansion. We're building for 100 years. We want it to last as long as possible. And then as you can see in the back here, there's a lot of different cuts around the window sill right here. And so generally what you see happening here in the window sill is that you will see a PVC trim that goes around this, just because if you were actually to put wood trim in water, you obviously gonna know you're not gonna get what you want. It's gonna rot out. But we didn't want to take anything away from the design elements that Del-Metrius put together for us, so we went the extra mile and they hand cut, and we hand cut every piece to make sure that it was fluent and it flowed exactly with the design of what she intended it for, and it really came out nice. We went the extra mile, and we had 40, brought it down to 45s all the way with the trim around it too, just so the contours is like, it's just a little bit more. It's the last 5% for us. We don't really focus on the first 95, because if we focus on the last 5%, then it's going to exceed expectations every time.